I love talking about Fire on the Mountain.
Perfect. So, go ahead. Jordan, why don't you tell us about Fire on the Mountain?
I'd love to. So Fire on the Mountain is the restaurant which I started with my business partner, Sarah, who actually know her through Lisa when I was, it all kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier, like when we started seeing Panic shows all together, our group of friends around, like 99, 2000. But first off, I've always just loved hot sauces and making hot sauces. And actually, where we went to high school, I don't know if you remember Mrs. Fox Davidson, she taught chemistry. Anyway, in high school, I made some peanut sauce, which was actually part getting all the way back to the Grateful Dead. I remember, like in Dead Lots, a lot of times there was spicy peanut pasta, cold sesame noodles for sale. And I just have always loved that, and peanut butter and peanut sauces. And I started making my own, and started giving it to my teacher in high school. Eventually that evolved to making, like when we were seeing Panic, the group of us, we would sell t-shirts. We would also make some peanut pasta and sell it in the lot, like at Red Rocks, and when Panic played in Larkspur. And but also I always wanted to open a restaurant ever since high school. Like senior year, I remember like realizing this is what I want to do. And always part of it for me, when I would just go to restaurants and spaces, I would just be very cognizant of it, and like spaces would make an impression on me. This is like kind of how it ties into venues. But I think that was part of why I wanted to open a restaurant. I just always envisioned like creating a space that was a good place for people to hang out and eat. So anyway, fast forward to like Lisa, when she was raft guiding down in Buena Vista, I went down to visit her and met her friend Sarah. And it turned out that Sarah just had the same dreams as far as opening a restaurant. And like around this time, we were traveling and seeing Panic and making pasta, selling t-shirts. Sarah and I would talk about this idea for a restaurant. And then when I was in college, it was like freshman year, I remember there was a lot of good wing joints where I went to college in Bloomington. And just remember, I was like, this is my favorite thing to do. Just drink beer and eat wings with friends. So then, and I had a lot of ideas kicking around. Like for a little while, it was a sandwich shop, but then wings, like really, like this is where it's at. Just with my love of hot sauce, and I love the communal aspect of eating wings and sharing it with friends. So anyway, fast forward to like around 2000 or so, Sarah and I would kind of, maybe a little bit more like 2001 or so. Anyway, we would just kind of talk about this idea, and it just gained momentum. And, then this turned into 2003, and we just got serious about it. And we decided that we were going to do it. And we were trying to figure out where we wanted to do this. And we were both living in Colorado at the time. And we thought about doing it in the mountains of Colorado. But ultimately, we decided, a friend of ours had moved to Oregon, and he knew that what we were planning. And he's like, you should come check out Portland, Oregon. An awesome place to live. No chicken wing joints out here. So we visited Portland, and it seemed like a cool spot. Place where just beautiful outdoorsy stuff, and where there was lots of good music scene. Anyway, we in 2005 opened up our first Fire in the Mountain in Portland, Oregon. And it's been great. It's sort of become an institution in Portland, and it was a hit from the get-go. We ended up expanding a few years later because we were starting a small space, and there was a huge demand for our chicken wings in another part of town. And so then we ended up opening up a third one about 11 years ago, and we're opening one in Bend this summer. But it's been great. It definitely, like I was saying, just love food and love how food can bring people together, just like music. And Fire in the Mountain plays into obviously my love of the Grateful Dead. And back in the day, I had envisioned opening up a restaurant that served spicy food somewhere in the mountains. So that's kind of how that name came about. And
I remember that. I remember living with you, and you would make the soon to be famous peanut pasta. And we would come home from the bars and you would make this pasta peanut sauce, and it was so good. It was so good. I feel like I might have been one of the first people to taste that version of the pasta.
I think so. And now, and Brian, like Lisa she's a rap guide also, when she's not doing radio shows. She makes peanut pasta on the river. It's actually compatible with that.
It's great. It's famous on river trips. Yes.
Yeah. So Fire in the Mountain also. So Brian, as you know, we used to have live music there, and our first location, Interstate, super small, it's like a 1,200 square foot building. And if I remember correctly, you came out and played there with Eric Martinez. Your band was B&E.
That's
right?
it. The great Eric Martinez. Absolutely. That was awesome.
So it all kind of comes full circle here.